So dudes, welcome back to the Gregor shaving experience, or lack thereof. The hair here doesn't grow very well, but the hair right here, well, that's a bit of a different story. Which brings me to this video's sponsor, Keeps.com. Keeps.com is a subscription service that helps men get in touch with physicians to take a look at their hair, see what's going on, and if there is something going on, get them the medication they need to keep it. You can do it all from the comfort of your computer desk, and the stuff gets shipped right to your door. Hair loss in some way, shape, or form is extremely common. 2 out of 3 guys are going to experience it by the time they reach age 35. But not every guy has the time or the patience or the money to deal with it, so Keeps.com tries to alleviate all of that for you. Keeps will get you in touch with a licensed physician that knows what they're talking about and will prescribe you something based on your specific needs, for a pretty cheap price compared to a traditional pharmacy. Keeps also offers a line of conditioner and shampoo to treat your hair with. Hair loss stops with Keeps. To get 50% off your order, go to keeps.com/Gregor or click the link in the description. That's keeps.com/Gregor. And thanks to Keeps for sponsoring this video and supporting the channel. So Siege is a pretty freaking old game by conventional standards. It's about to enter its 7th birthday, and a lot has changed, especially the pacing of the gunfighting. But one-shot headshot and the time to kill has not. Is this a good or a bad thing? I explore... God, I wanted to do that in one take. Join me on 5 to 10 minutes, Greg Havener, as we explore whether or not the quick leaning sucks. That's the video. So this was an interesting tweet that I found that is in French, and I can't translate it because je ne comprends pas le français. But basically, the movement is extremely different compared to 2016, when Orange Man was still president. Wow, way to make the video political, Greg. Anyway, I'll just play the clip. Reaction channel? Siege reaction channel? Free speeds used to be a lot faster, as you can see. ADSing was faster. This is the crazy part to me, right? The angled grip now is closer to the vertical grip of 2016. That's a bit of a bro moment to me. Look at that, like the difference between the two is so big. The quick lean, everybody remembers that if you were playing a long time ago. I'm assuming that's a lot. Boku, I'm assuming that's a lot. So, what do I think of this? Well, personally, and I know that I'm gonna sound like an old head when I say this, I thought this was more fun. I thought this version of the game was more fun, and I personally stood to lose the most by this kind of gameplay still being predominant in the game, because I don't even play fragging characters, mostly. I play support characters for the most part. I'm not really, in Siege, I'm not really super reliant on my gunplay. Not because I can't gun, but because that's just not why I got into Siege. If I wanted to gun, if I wanted to run around and shoot, I'd play Call of Duty. And I know that might sound kind of contradictory, because people think, well, if you want to go play Call of Duty, then why do you like the older movement better than the newer movement? I don't like the newer movement because it doesn't match the time to kill or the fact that one-shot headshot is in the game. And I know that also might sound a little bit confusing, but hear me out on this one. I believe that in its current state, the time to kill and one-shot headshot mechanic of Rainbow Six Siege does not fit the considerably slower pacing of the movement. I don't think the gunfighting feels as intense and as involved, because aim duels in the older version of Siege kind of felt kind of felt like really quick bouts of fencing, right? There's like a couple of movements like really quick, and there's a little bit of counteraction sometimes, but the length of the engagement is short. Here, the length of the engagement is short, but the steps that are taken to get to the engagement are like, oh, I see the guy. Right? Like, it just doesn't, to me, it feels a little bit disjointed. And I think that's the reason a lot of people have stopped playing the game as of late. Because the gunfighting just isn't as satisfying as it used to be when the movement was a little bit more sped up. Getting those headshots, getting those quick succession kills felt earned, and it felt skillful because other people, if they were skilled with their movement, could do the same thing to you. But you did the same thing to them. This shit, 2017, I don't know if y'all remember Serenity 17. Wherever he is, I hope he's doing okay. I fucking loved Serenity 17's videos. Serenity 17 was like the only... There's a lot of Siege YouTubers that people talk about that they watch. For me, Serenity was the only guy... He was the only guy that I watched every single time he uploaded something. That shit, I would watch it like instantly.
His tracks, yeah.
And
all right, going
this is Velvet Shell. This is like when Mirrored first came out. This is on Old Hereford too. Why the fuck?
They have one.
Why did they remove this map?
They have one in ladder.
This map was so fun, man. So see how the movement is like paced with with the speed of the player's kind of decision making and what he's trying to do. He sees something going on this section of the map, and he's like, okay, well, obviously I can't push this yet, so I have another option. I can rotate. And rotating doesn't feel like a pain in the ass because the movement doesn't take 5 million years to ADS on somebody. Right? Like, here's my drone, okay. Oh, I see somebody. Oh, quick, I can get this guy. Boom.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
So weird. People play really weird.
People do play weird. People still play weird.
I can drop it. Oh, they're both inside.
There's the old Tachanka, too.
They're behind the mirror.
Yep.
Oh, watch out. They're peeking me.
I didn't think I was on my drone. Okay, hold on.
Last one is on my...
Yeah?
She's peeking. Oh.
It was more entertaining to watch from a content creation
He's
standpoint,
playing in laundry, I think.
and it felt more satisfying to play.
He's playing in laundry. So...
And I understand that a lot of people seem to have this idea that Rainbow Six Siege was never interesting or never fun because of the gunplay. It isn't anymore. A while ago it used to be. A while ago it used to be like one of the main draws. Now for my channel it wasn't because I suck compared to Serenity. But for a lot of people's channels it was. For Bolo's channel, for Serenity's channel, a lot of other famous Siege YouTubers.
Is it nice if I get all 4, or is it not? Do I need to
And
get
people
5?
seem to have this idea that the game doesn't... This version of the game didn't reward tactics and it didn't reward strategy. Which I find absolutely ridiculous. Because the rank meta now has become more monkey brain, swing everything. I feel it's become more monkey than it was in this iteration. Now there's a crap ton of utility that is too much of a pain in the ass to deal with, so people just ignore it in ranked. And here there was like kind of a nice balance. Siege at its peak was popular because it felt like there was a balance with the destructive maps, the utility-based strategy and tactics, and there was this kernel of democratization called one-shot headshot. And it felt fair because the gunfighting was fast-paced, and it fit, you know, having one-shot headshot and a fast T decay made sense.
Okay.
Now I don't think it really makes sense. I think that's why it's gotten a little bit more frustrating to play for people, and I think it's why people get frustrated whenever guns, especially if the whole gun is based around the fact that it has a high rate of fire and low recoil, whenever that gun gets nerfed, that's why people get irritated. Because the gun is only good because of the fact that because the game has one-shot headshot. So the gun stinks in the hands of somebody who can't aim, but then it's good in the hands of somebody who can aim, And so then you just end up making it more difficult for the guy who can aim, and then people who couldn't aim were never using the freaking gun in the first place, so they don't care if it gets nerfed. Of course they don't care if it gets nerfed, because noobs, can I say it? Am I allowed to say that? Because noobs who get wrecked by people who can take advantage of that mechanic get mad, and they see that as a tool, and they don't like getting slammed. So of course they're happy when it gets nerfed, but everybody else is like, what the fuck? This was fun. This was like one of the fun parts about the game, is hitting headshots. And now, you know, it's like, okay, fuck you. Stop aiming. Stop it. You're playing the game wrong. This isn't how we want you to play it. Then why do you have one-shot headshot? What are you doing? You have the time to kill and the bullet physics, right? Plus the one-shot headshot mechanic that was designed for the version of the game on the left. But you haven't adjusted it, and now the game is the version on the right. And it just feels weird. And here's the argument I have for the whole tactical realism point of view, okay? Guns in real life don't take 5 million years to ADS, okay? Especially if they're light. Now, if it's like a big like light machine gun, yeah, you know, and you're probably not wanting to fire that from a standing point of view anyway. Okay? I don't know that many people. I don't know that many cops or military service people or you know, people in that kind of line of work. Tactical guys, sorry. Big dinner. Who their whole training is based around getting a fully automatic weapon and then spraying at head level, right? And going like that. I know that a lot of people wanted to LARP like SWAT people, because the original version of the game was marketed that way. But playing the game that way is really fucking ineffective, okay? Stacking up on a door and then pretending to be a SWAT dude in a line, in like a little conga line, is a really great way for somebody to swing and then just frag all of you. It was never an effective way to play the game. And I get the game is supposed to be more strategic and tactically involved. And that is perfectly reasonable. But these two things cannot correlate, okay? You cannot talk about the game from a balanced perspective in terms of the weapons and ignore one-shot headshot and ignore the fast time to kill. People think that it has to be one or the other. I disagree. I think the two things can live together. I think that's when Siege was the most fun, was when the gunplay and the utility existed side by side in equal parts. And now I feel like it's in this awkward state where the utility has become more important, but it's too much of a pain in the ass for the average person to deal with. So they don't want to, and then we get people that run around and play monkey. And it's not interesting, because the version of the game that people are supposed to play, people aren't playing it, and that version of the game that people are playing now is less exciting and less fun to play than the version 3 years ago. Because at least I could outgun these guys. At least if I got good at the movement, I could win gunfights. I could gunfight my way out of the fact that I'm on a support character and I can't push this thing because there's some crap in the way. Now, it feels like if you're not using a laser beam gun, you're actively not contributing something. You can't hang. Your influence on the round has diminished. And that's why the meta has become this way. In an ironic sense, overcompensating and over-analyzing this aspect of the game and slowing it down because we didn't want it to be as gun-focused has made it more gun-focused. And that's why I think a lot of people have stopped playing the game recently. Let me know what you guys think. Is this, something to think about moving forward with the future of the game? Let me know in the comments down below. And thanks again, as always, for listening to me rant about Rainbow Six Siege. Deuces.